Yeah. What is this? This is Blood Bowl. That's right. What up, guys? What up, guys? Heretic You here, and sorry I didn't do a video last week. Actually, I had to work, and so I didn't get any gaming in. All right, so what I can do is show off my fully painted Blood Bowl set, and you know what? I figure we'll do an extra long video this time. We're gonna go over the Blood Bowl basics, right? Let's just go over the contents real quick. I mean, you're gonna get 2 teams. You're gonna get the Orc team right there, 12 guys, and 12 human players. Okay, and for each team, you're gonna get a set of dice. So regular D6s, 2 of those, 3 block dice. You're gonna get a D8 and also a D16, which is pretty cool. And then, which I really love, are these markers. These are the 2 human-themed markers there, and it's Blood Bowl, so I put blood on them. Okay, that's what you do. Here are the orcs. That's the orc marker. Okay, nice and bloody. Oh, you can't see the blood there. There you go, blood. And blood on the coins. As you see, we have 1. You're gonna get 2 of these orc ones, orc coins. These are great for using to mark your turn or rerolls or your score. And then you get 2 human-themed Blood Bowl coins. Also good for the kickoff. You're gonna get these cards. Cards are going to have the stats of your guys. These are the star player guys that come with the basic box set. Oh, they don't actually. These guys don't come with it. The cards come with it. Okay, don't let me misspeak. I'm gonna do this in one take. So, and then you get your team cards. This is the like your human guy and your orc guy, and then you get these miscellaneous plays which they try to make you use during the game. I have my objections to that, but anyways, it exists. It's a thing. Here's the cards. Okay, very nice. Pass ruler. I'm gonna apologize in advance. My pass ruler looks like garbage. I'm still painting it, trying to clean it up, but it looks cool. I mean, if I painted it better. Scatter template. And the crowd throw-in template. Like I said, the humans are going to have their own set of dice. Of course, you get the pitch. And 2 of these dugouts, those are reversible. Let me just show you those real quick. Pull 1. So, orc themed, human themed, okay? And then the official rule book and these reference sheets. You get 2 of those, which are great because they're really useful. Okay, cool. So just to make this video longer, because I haven't done one in a couple, whatever. We're going to go over the basics. Now, I'm not going to go over the whole game. A long time ago, I did a series of videos kind of breaking down Blood Bowl into little parts and covering as much as possible. I'm just going to go over the basic actions here so you get a feel of how the game plays, okay? And basically, the way you win Blood Bowl is you get a guy carrying the ball, get him into your opponent's end zone, you score a point. Player with the most points at the end of the game wins. Pretty simple, okay? Now, how do we do that? Okay, so on your turn, you are going to activate each model one by one and declare actions. Now your available actions, or we'll just go over your basic actions, okay, are going to be to move, to block, to blitz, to foul, to pass, handoff. Okay, those are your basics. All right. So let's go over each kind of action one by one. And I'm going to use the orcs this time. Orcs are going to be my demo team. By the way, this is if you're looking at the paint jobs. I didn't spend too much time on these guys. Okay, this is a demo team, just a demo team. All right. So yeah, there's a lot of people online have been posting some awesome pics. Anyways, so move is we're going to use the MA stat. That means movement allowance. So I'm going to take this orc here, and that means he can move 5 squares because his movement allowance is 5. You move in any direction you want, diagonal, backwards, whatever. Okay. Seems pretty straightforward. There are 2 things you need to know about movement. One is that you can actually go above and beyond your movement allowance. It's called a go for it. So let's say I'm moving. I declare this orc to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But I really want to get to that square. Okay, square number 6. I have to declare a go for it. Okay, and basically a go for it is a die roll. I'm going to roll a d6. That's a 6, by the way. Wow, wasted my 6s. On a roll of a 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6, he passes, and he is successfully standing in that square. If I roll a 1, he would fall down. And when you fall down in this game, it is bad news. All right, it's bad news for 2 major reasons. One, your turn ends. So even if I didn't activate the rest of my guys, yeah, that's it. It's going to be your opponent's turn. The second thing is you do an armor check, okay? And so we're going to look at the stat card one more time. The armor value of this guy is 9. So if on 2d6 I roll a 10, 11, or 12, which I didn't do, I would have busted the armor. Let's say I bust the armor. Okay, that's an 11. Bam! Look at me. So then it gets doubly bad because then you roll on this injury table. Okay, and on the injury table, if I roll the 2d6 again. If I roll a 1 through 7, he becomes stunned. Stunned means he is on his face, and he's going to spend an entire turn rolling over, which means basically he's out for a turn. Okay? If I roll an 8 or 9 on 2d6, he's KO'd, which means he's actually taken off the field. You put him in the KO section of your dugout, and he's got to wait to return to the game on the next touchdown scored or at halftime. You roll to see if he wakes up. 4, 5, or 6, he wakes up and he's back in the game. 1, 2, or 3, he is still asleep. All right. If you roll a 10 or 10, 11, or 12, well, that's really bad. Then you get to roll on the injury table, and that's when people die or they get really hurt. Okay. We're not going to go over the injury table right now, but just know there is a table. It exists. It's a thing. And you don't want your guy on that injury table, okay? Especially if you're playing a campaign. You want to try and not have injuries. So that's the fault. That's the go for it. Now you're allowed 2 go for it's on a player, so he could actually move 7 squares. So the way that would work again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's say I wanted to go 6. I would roll. Where's my freaking dice? There's the dice. All right, you made it. All right, I want to go for it again. Same check. Okay. Now, just so you know, So he made it. Like I said, at any point, if he falls down, there's two things you know, all right? What happens? You check for armor to see if he gets hurt, and your turn ends, okay? That happens pretty much anytime you fall down in Blood Bowl. Those two things are going to happen, okay? All right, so let's go into blocking. Blocking is pretty much the majority of the game, right? So how do we do that? Well, we're going to use our strength stat. It's my dog. This decides to bark. Sorry about that. Production value. Anyways, use strength stat. In this case, he's going to be. Now, when you block, you cannot move. Okay, so you basically have to start next to an enemy player. So I could be here, 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 here. And why did I skip? Shit. Hang on. I skipped tackle zones. All right. Most importantly, about movement. The other thing about movement, I forgot to mention this. Ugh, so rusty, right? Around each player is a zone of control. It's one square around. It's called the tackle zone, all right? Going back to our orc lineman, where's our guy? Here's our guy. Let's move these guys out of the way. I can move into this guy's tackle zone. Great. Whenever I leave, I have to do a dodge check, okay? So the way you do a dodge check is you're going to check on the agility table, right? Let's see if I can get that to focus. Hell yeah. Okay. So we're going to check on our player's agility. So, what's his agility? His agility is... wrong card. 3. Now he gets a +1 for attempting the dodge. So that'll bump up his agility to 4. And if you look on the agility table, a 4 means that you're going to be successful on a 3, 4, 5, or 6. Okay? So you roll dice. Let's see what I get. I got 6. He's successful. Let's say I rolled a 2. That would be bad. He falls down. What happens when he falls down? Your turn ends, and you roll on armor. You see, we got a theme going. Now, just so you know, there are negative modifiers as well. Let's say, here, okay? Let's say I'm trying to go to this square. So I am going from one tackle zone into another. Well, I still get the +1, but I get a -1 because I'm going into a tackle zone. All right, so the +1, the -1, they cancel each other out. That makes my agility back to 3, which means that I am going to be successful on a 4, 5, or 6. Okay, so I roll the dice. I roll a 3, that's not good enough. What happens? I fall down. And my turn ends. And we roll on armor. Okay? Tackle zones stack. So imagine if I were to do that. I'm sorry. The guy's over there. Yeah, oh, that's right. Let's say I'm going here. And that guy's there. And I want to go into this tackle zone. Alright, now I'm +1, -2. Let's say there's another guy. +1, -3. Okay, so you add it all up, both positives and negatives. In this case, +1, -3 would put me at -2, bringing me down to an agility of 1, which means I need a 6 to get out of there. Okay, now let's go on to blocking. Jesus Christ, thought I was going to be fast. All right, blocking. The key to block, or first rule about blocking, you cannot move and block, all right? So basically, you're going to have to be starting right next to an enemy player to do that. The stat that we're going to use is our strength, our ST ability, okay? ST for strength, and we're going to compare it to the human lineman that we're blocking. Notice that our strengths are the same. So whenever you have a situation where both players are equal strength, you're going to roll a single block die, okay? Just so you know, in this system, there are ways to give you bonuses, all right? So let's say I have a guy, like a helper guy right there. There's a helper. He's adjacent to the guy involved in the block, so I can get an assist. That's what it's called. It's called an assist. For every guy that's there, I get a +1. Now, this guy has to be standing, so if he was knocked down, he would have, he couldn't assist, all right? Also, he can't be in another player's tackle zone. You remember that zone I mentioned that was 1 square around? So if he's in that zone, he can't help. All right? But let's assume that's pretty straightforward. We got a 2-on-1 situation here. That means that the orc's strength is now boosted up to 4. The human strength is still at 3. Whenever you are stronger, you're going to roll 2 block dice, and you're going to pick the better result, okay? If I can get to a situation where I am more than double the guy's strength, let's say I'm 3, 4, 5, 6, let's go with 7. All right. That right there looks like a really bad prison yard. You don't want to be in that situation. But guess what? If I can manage that, I'm going to roll 3 blocking dice. And remember, for anyone to assist, they cannot be in another enemy player's tackle zone. So if this guy was here, he is actually canceling out this dude, okay? Does that make sense? Of course it does. I'm doing all the teaching. It makes sense. All right. Let's go over the block die results real quick. So why does having 2 dice matter? Because there are some bad things that can happen when you block. Starting with the skull. You roll this bad boy, that means things are not going your way. It means you tried to throw that block, but instead you ended up hurting yourself. And what happens when you fall down? Let me hear you say it. Your turn ends, you roll on armor. Okay? So you do not want skull. Alright? How about this next result? Well, that's both down. Okay? It's bad, but it's not as bad. Because in this case, both players go down. Okay? And what happens when you go down? Same thing. Your turn's still going to end, but at least you can roll on each other's armor and try to, you could maybe hurt the guy. Okay? Why did I roll block dice? That always throws me off. Anyways. Alright, so that's both down. The next 2 are pushes. Alright, let's go over pushing real quick. You throw a block. Let's do it this angle, okay? So you can see better. From this angle, a straight on block, it's going to push the guy back a square. Now he could either go into this square straight back, or he can go into the 2 right next to that square. So either this square, or that square, okay? And when you push, the blocking player gets to decide which square the opposing player goes. So the orc would get to choose. Like if I blocked you, I want you here, I say I'll push you there. And also the blocking player is allowed a follow-up move. I can occupy the square that he was in, okay? Now if I were to do it from an angle, let's say we're blocking like this, it becomes kind of like this weird arrow shape. So I can either go back this square, or this square, and the same rules apply, okay? There are rules for knocking guys out of bounds. Basically, if there's no other where he can go, there's no empty square that he can go, he's going out of bounds in this case. If I were to hit him from this angle to try to knock him out of bounds, I could still move here, okay? So if you see a guy on the sideline, you want to hit him straight on. And let the crowd is brutal in this game. They will just tear him a new one. All right. Is there anything else about blocking? Yeah. So just so you know, assists go both ways. So let's say that bad boy is trying to block this guy, but this guy is next to him. Well, guess what? This guy actually has an assist, right? So the human now, once with strength 3, now has strength 4 because of his buddy here. What happens when I'm the weaker player, you ask? Well, when that happens, you're going to roll 2 block dice, but your opponent gets to pick. And you know, he's not going to pick what is beneficial to you. He's going to pick what's beneficial to him. All right, makes sense? So that's blocking, that's assist. Blitzing is the same thing, except it's a moving block, okay? And you only get one of those per turn. So you want to kind of save it for an important thing. But to give you a quick example, let's say this guy's 1, 2, 3. All right, he's 4 squares away. When you declare a blitz, you're going to have to -1 from the guy's movement. So normally his movement allowance is 5, but he's going to have to pay for that, so he has to be within 4 squares. So I declare a blitz, 1, 2, 3, 4. We compare strengths, blah, blah, blah. You roll the appropriate block dice, and you resolve. Does that make sense? Now, if, let's say he was 5 squares away, you could, did I count that right? 2, 3, 4, 5, yes. You could use a go for it to pay for the blitz, okay? So I could actually be, 6 squares away, but you have to make the go for it roll, which I wouldn't. And guess what would have happened to him? He would have fell down and all that good stuff, right? Simple enough? Okay. Questions? Any questions? I'm just kidding. This is a recorded video. How do you think I would answer it? Jesus, guys. All right, now. Fouling. Fouling is kicking a guy when he's down. Okay? That's pretty simple. In this case, you don't roll block dice. You just roll 2 dice and you try to beat the armor value of the guy. Okay? So this guy's armor is 8. And so we would need, a 9 or better. If you roll any doubles, trying to bust the armor, or on the injury roll, let's say you injure him, the ref actually catches you, kicks you out of the game, and your turn ends. All right. Same thing with fouling. You can actually get assists. All right. So same idea. This time they're adding +1 to the roll. So let's say I'm trying to beat an 8. Look at that, I got a 7. Almost beat it. That assist would bring me up to 8. And the same rules apply for assisting. This guy couldn't assist if he's in the tackle zone of that guy. He can't assist. All right, that's fouling. Quickly now. Passing. Okay, anybody in Blood Bowl can pass, but you can only do 1 pass action a turn. All right, passing is just, let's say you have the ball, and you want to move the ball to another player. You do a pass action, right? To do a pass action, you gotta check your agility, okay? So in this case, this guy's agility is 3. There's modifiers to that, okay? So let's say here's the pass. I'm holding the ruler wrong. You put the pass ruler on. This first football represents a quick pass. That's going to give him a +1. So his agility is going to go from 3 to 4, which means I roll a d6, and I'm going to be successful on a 3, 4, 5, or 6. And I got 6. Nice. This next football is 0, no modifiers. So if he was a couple squares away, I'm now in the 0 range, and in that range, my agility is 3, so I need a 4, 5, or 6 for that pass to go through. This is a -1, so agility is going to drop down to 2, and that's a -2, and that agility is going to go down to 1. All right. Also, tackle zones affect passing. So if I pass the ball and I'm in this guy's tackle zone, that would be a -1 as well, and it all stacks. So if I was trying to pass to this guy, that's a 0 range pass, which means I'd be at a -1, so my agility would drop down to 2, which means I need a 5 or 6. Now, I rolled a 4. 4 would be inaccurate. In an inaccurate pass, you're going to use the scatter template, and you're going to scatter the ball 3 times from him, okay? So you just roll this, and I'll give you the direction, okay? So 3 would have went that way, and then you roll it again, and, you know, it would go to the 7. If the ball lands back on him, miraculously, he can try to catch it. And if he does, it's not a turnover. Because catching, if you fail to catch or you fail to pass, you're going to create a turnover. Whenever the dice roll is modified down to 1, let's say that was a -1, right? And a 1 means I'd fumble, which means the ball would actually drop from where this guy's at, okay? So you roll the scatter for him. And because I was at a -1, if I rolled a 1 or 2, that means I would have fumbled on a 1 or 2. Handoff is the same thing, except cool. Handoff is really easy. Handoff is an automatic pass, but you have to be right next to the guy. Basically, I'm just handing him the ball. He still has to roll for a catch, which again is agility, but you get a +1 because it's an accurate handoff. So his agility gets bumped up to a 4, which means he succeeds on a 3, 4, 5, or 6. And he rolled a 2. He would have dropped the ball, you'd roll for scatter, and you would end your turn. So that's about it. That's all I got for you today. Yeah, that was Blood Bowl, like super fast. And you might have some questions. Like I said, I did another video. But hey, put them in the comments. You want to ask questions? Okay, cool. Let's make a whole collaborative thing out of this. All right, guys. And I'm starting in a league soon, so there's going to be some Blood Bowl content. So we'll get to see it in action. And thanks for watching. I appreciate it. And if I got any rules wrong, you know, I did this in one take, so whatevs. Just correct it, put it in the comments. No, I don't want to give out any bad info. And I know I ran through that pretty quickly, but like I said, you know, this was the basics. It's pretty much how I'm going to run my demo. So you tell me. You tell me, how did that demo? Did you feel like that was a good demo? Did you feel like you got a good grasp of the basics of this game? I was going to run through a whole play, but I think we're a little short. That's 30 minutes, man. 30 minutes. You've been listening to me ramble on for 30 minutes. And I'm still rambling. Why am I doing that? Blood Bowl!